Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show because of viewers like you. We're available across all major podcast distributors, and people, I mean it when I say it, we would not be here without you, and it doesn't get missed that that is the case, all right? Please continue to show that support. We are truly indebted to you because of it, and if you continue to follow, we're gonna continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are thoroughly looking forward to showcasing this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have Dr. Christine Charyton. We're going to be discussing her amazing book, Chrissy's Diary, February 20th, 1978 to May 26th, 1981. You're going to want to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. While you're at it, check out her personal websites. There's two of them I'm going to quickly name for you. That's drchristinecharyton.com as well as christinecharytonphd.com. There you're going to find more information on Dr. Sheridan herself, more information on this fantastic book, but people get this. She's written two other books. One is called Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society, followed by Pilgrimage, A Mindful Journey. And if that wasn't impactful enough, and I promise you those three books are very impactful, and books that you're going to want to add to your shelf, Dr. Sheridan is also entering in the running for U.S. presidency. Come this upcoming November 2024, Dr. Sheridan will also be there on the list. She has a lot to offer, she has a lot to say, and she is definitely someone you want to listen to. Dr. Sheridan, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Better than I deserve. I appreciate you being here. It's not every day we get to be sitting down with a presidential candidate, and this is something I'm thoroughly looking forward to. We're going to touch up on the candidacy later because, of course, the anchor, first and foremost, is all about your fantastic book, Chrissy's Diary. So I want to start off, I want a synopsis of the book, but I also want to know specifically, the subtitle is February 20th, 1978 to May 26th, 1981. What happened between those specific years, and why did you put that as the subtitle?
Yes, I wanted to specify when I received the diary and when I wrote it. If you look at the cover, I can show the cover. That is actually what the diary looked like. And it was for 1 year. It says 1 year diary. But I only wrote when I was inspired to write. And being a child, it captures the 8-year-old mind. And when I wrote it and put it together, these are actual pages in the diary with the actual dates. And that's why it was up to from the beginning of February 20th to May 26th of 1981 over the years. So it was a 3-year period that I ended up writing the book. But that was when I was a child. So then what I did is prepare this diary to be a book and typed every word, but also provided the handwriting. And we also talk about the handwriting or cursive that's in there. And that a lot of times children do not have that exposure anymore in the schools. So it's just to make sure people can learn the basics again and get back to their roots. When I had adolescents work for me, they didn't know how to sign their name for a signature because they didn't know handwriting. And then recently I heard they put the handwriting back into the curriculum. So it gets to all that of getting back to the innocence of what life was like with CB radios and, no cell phones, just playing with each other and having fun outside in recess and things like that.
Yeah. Growing up, because like you, I grew up in a time where technology was not around in the same way. So we were always outside, my friends, my brothers and I, we were outside, we were playing, we were, I guess being kids is what I want to say, But being kids today is not the same as what it historically has meant. So talk to us a little bit more about the inspiration behind this narrative. I understand the positives to it, going back to a simpler time, allowing children to be children. I love that message and I can absolutely get behind it. But why did you feel compelled or inspired to write this book?
Actually, my former publisher, James at Ghostwriting Galaxy, inquired. He said, "Do you have anything else you'd like to share?" And I thought about it, and I thought, well, I have a diary. So I took pictures of the entire diary. But then Archway Publishing called me, and they said, "Do you have any books?" And I had this one, Women's Scientific Creativity, that I already published with Ghostwriting Galaxy, and they wanted this book. And I said, you know what? I have another book. It's my diary that you could look at, which is Chrissy's diary. And that's what I decided to call it. And as a child, I was nicknamed Scientific Chrissy because I was fair and honest. And I even talk about a little bit about when I would play teacher, I'd be free, very fair to other kids. You know, even if I was sharing a drink or a beverage, you know how there's always kids that would say, "Oh, you poured yourself more." As a child, I would make it exactly even. And then the children will look at it and say, "Wow, that is even. How did you do that so evenly? That's amazing."
You know.
So it's just capturing all these interesting moments.
Yeah.
And in the book, there's one issue that we had CCD being Catholic, and when I switched to public school, so there's a whole dialogue about being in Catholic school and the different Catholic schools I was at, and then being in public school. And at CCD, there's a funny thing where we snap each other's bras for joy and amusement during CCD instead of paying attention like we should have as children. So some of that is also captured in the book.
It takes me back. Dr. Charyton takes me back to life as a youth. Listen, a moment ago you mentioned another one of your books. People, as I mentioned, there's a lot that we have to cover here today, so we're going to keep it moving. Chrissy's Diary is the anchor. That is a fantastic book. You got to head on over there and pick up your copies. But in addition to that one, as she's mentioned, she's written 2 other books, but one of which is called Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society. Let's take a quick opportunity here and let's go into a little bit more detail of that particular narrative, because I know this one is connected to your presidential run. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, well, I've been researching women's creativity for probably over 20 years, probably over 26 years. So I had a faculty member that said, you know what? Always look at gender because you never know, you might want to look at it later. So I always included gender and ethnicity in all my research. And so I was actually asked to write a journal article. And with the journal article, that ended up becoming a book that was an empirical academic book. And then because I'm running for president, I was told, why not try and, with the book here, reach the mass audience as a bestseller. So that's why I decided to go with Ghostwriting Galaxy to have a bestseller that would be my presidential book.
People, there you have it. Again, we're here on the line with Dr. Christine Charyton. We're discussing her amazing book, Chrissy's Diary, February 20th, 1978 to May 26th, 1981. Remember, there are 2 other books that you're going to want to pick up as well. One, which we just quickly discussed, Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society, followed by Pilgrimage, A Mindful Journey. All of which are available for purchase through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but check out our personal sites, drchristinecharyton.com and christinecharytonphd.com. I'm telling you, it's a one-stop shop for everything she has in store, and these are things you're going to want to get involved with, all right? Without further ado, Dr. Charyton, you can't drop a bomb on us like you're running for U.S. presidency and have us not want to explore further. I am so curious about this. First and foremost, Talk to us about where the love of politics and the desire to be the head of this great nation, where does that even derive from?
Yes, well, I wanted to be president of the United States of America since I was 8 years old. And I noticed that there were all the presidents in the room, and the teacher said, "What do you notice about all of them?" And I raised my hand and raised my hand, and wouldn't call on me. Then finally she called on me, and I said, "None of them are women." And she said, "Well, you're right, but that's not the answer I was looking for." And I never got my goodie prize, so I talked to my dad, and my dad said, "You can be anything you want to be." And I said, "Even president of the United States of America?" He said, "Yes." I said, "But I'm a girl." He said, "That doesn't matter. You can still be president of the United States of America." And being Ukrainian American, advocating for Ukraine, then also I'm very much of a patriot for the United States of America. So I figured, why only look at Ukraine, also help the United States of America. And it seems that we need a more moderate person, and being independent, that I could bring people together, and being a psychologist, I can help bring people together.
Dr. Charyton, I'm curious. We're going to go into a little bit more of your policies in a second, but first and foremost, where do you see the future of this country going?
I truly believe that we're the best of the best. And even if we looked at the Olympics that just happened, we have the most amount of medals, period. And we have a history of leading and being the best of the best. So what I would like to do is bring that pride back, because recently there's been less pride in our country. As a psychologist, I listen to my clients and hear how disappointed they are with the way things are going. And the economy is really hurting people. So I like to help people create more jobs by helping with creativity and innovation and inventiveness. So using technology, having people more involved with technology, having people more involved with small business, and start their own small businesses. That's helping them create their dreams come true. So that's why my campaign slogan is living beyond our dreams, our American dream, and tapping into that everybody has their own unique American dream for them, and they can achieve it, and it's all doable. So trying to help with resources for people to achieve those dreams.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Dr. Charyton, there are a lot of different policies that are always up for debate. There's climate control, there's healthcare, right? There's gender equality. There are always a myriad of things to be discussed, and different things that presidential candidates run on. Well, I'm curious to ask you, what would you say are your three, amongst the, I'm not saying that these are the only three and then everything else just kind of falls by the wayside, but what would you say are probably your three most important policies that you hope to really push in your presidency?
Mine are to secure the border so that we don't have people coming here, too many people coming here illegally that are not vetted properly for safety, because there were a lot of criminals that came and rape women. And so for women's rights, that's something that I would support a lot, to help protect women and women grow. And even at this last Olympics, it ended up that a trans male to female ended up beating up the women, severely a woman, and he won a gold medal. So we need to adjust and be more inclusive, but not be ridiculous about things, because we need to support and women and men, I believe. And also the whole spectrum is important, that we work together and respect each other. And I believe in the economy is a high priority for me as number two, or even the gender issues are part of that. But women, our economy, by having more jobs with creativity and innovation, like I spoke about a little bit earlier, starting small businesses, those are ideas that I have that can help our economy to decrease inflation. And third, that it's very important, is to end these wars, because with all the wars going on, all our taxpayer money is going to fund the wars. However, Ukraine did really need the money, because I'm Ukrainian American. I know I've advocated for Ukraine, and even Israel needed the money also. So it's that fine balance. How can we lead and stop these wars. And I do believe that the current administration, which is Biden and Kamala Harris, did not do this properly, and that's why we had the problem. And I'd like to be an other option besides Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And a lot of people, I heard that 60% of people are independent. So I think that that's what people want, is that maybe another party that's not the Green Party or the Libertarian Party, but just another independent party that can bring people together. And that's why I'm so interested in helping and putting people first. If you look at my website, Christine Charyton, PhD.com, there are high priorities that are in there, and our First Amendment rights are highest priority. So we want to have our First Amendment rights for all people and support, and that includes freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom of assembly. So all of these important topics are there in my mission, and I describe all of these topics that are on my website. So please look at my website and potentially help out.
Well, listen, as I mentioned, people, it's a one-stop shop, okay? You're definitely going to want to check that out. As we start to close out and understand, people, I could sit here, I could talk to Dr. Sheridan for hours, okay? I am engulfed in what we're discussing. I have so many things that I want to go into further discussions with. Yeah, but it's not about me, all right? It's not about me. We're going to keep it honed in, but I feel I would be, out of all of the political questions that I could ask, I think probably one of the hottest topic happening right now, or one of, is the Supreme Court and some of their most recent changes, one of which, of course, being Roe v. Wade. Now, that is something that has been highly contested, and that is something that, depending on where you fall on the side of the political spectrum, you have your varying opinions with it. Well, two-part question here. First and foremost, as a woman, of course, what do you feel about that particular Supreme Court decision? And two, Biden recently passed or suggested shortening the Supreme Court justices, not allowing them to have lifetime terms. Talk to us about where you stand with both of those, Roe v. Wade and that decision, but also about shortening the term limits for Supreme Court justices.
Right, those are great questions. I do believe I'm a pro-life candidate, so I believe in that life starts at conception and ends at death. So I'm against abortion, but I believe sometimes it is an option that is necessary for the mother, especially when the mother's life is in danger. Yeah. So that would be appropriate. Also, I believe of it being a federal issue and getting it away from each state, because some people have to go from one state to another to get an abortion when they need one, and that would be bad for them to do that. But I think it's option Z, abortion. First we have condoms, then we have, abstinence is first. So abstinence comes first, then condoms, then a birth control, then there are other options, female condoms, there are birth control for males. There are so many options that abortion should be a last option, not a first option. So I think that's important. Yeah. And I think that also that if abortion is necessary, it should be 12 weeks or earlier, because the baby is inside the mother as a fetus. Therefore, it should not be aborted unless necessary, in danger of the mother's life. So in addition with, like you're saying with the Supreme Court, I would be open to hearing more ideas about limiting terms, but I think that the expansion of the Supreme Court is not necessary. So I think that limiting terms for senators and House of Representatives is also an option that is probably a great idea. Mm-hmm. So I think that we're growing and adapting, but we need balance in the Supreme Court. And I think that that's really important, is to have balance. Yeah. And know that they have done to be able to be in that position, to work really hard to be in that position, but to have a diversity of thought. I think that's really important, that there always should be diversity of thought. And I think that's key. And I just wanted to add, I almost forgot to add in my mission, is that I put people first. So being a psychologist and having a horse farm, having animals, I have two horses, two cats and a dog, and just putting people first all the time. So I think we need to get back to those roots in the government, is to put people first and to get rid of lower taxes, because taxes are way too high for everybody. Servers should not get, people at restaurants that are serving us shouldn't be taxed. Hairdressers shouldn't be taxed for their service and their tips, and also taxes for everybody across the board. I don't believe in having wealthy people pay more and more, but I think that we can lower taxes, especially for the middle class and the lower income, and get rid of poverty. I'd like to get rid of poverty once and for all, because that's one of our biggest problems in our country, is poverty. We're one of the wealthiest nations in the world. So we need to get rid of poverty, but not redistribute the wealth, because that's communism. And that's something I'm against, being Ukrainian American and seeing everything my family went through. My dad came here with one $2 bill to make a life of himself, and that was it. And the clothes on their back, and they were sponsored to come here legally, ended up working and getting jobs. And even my dad, his goal was to get a Cadillac in high school. So what did he do? He worked really hard and got himself a Cadillac. So those are things that we have to do, is tap back into our American dream. So instead of looking at grocery prices being too high, gas prices being too high, in Ohio, gas prices doubled for me. That's 100% doubling of what they cost before, in probably, that was 2020. So I think that we need to reduce expenses and still make everything made in the USA. I think that's important, that we take that pride back, and that we had that pride in the Olympics this year, which is what meant so much to me as Americans competing, is that these athletes had pride for the United States of America and enjoyed receiving their medals and led the way. And that was so important for us to have that pride back. Simone Biles, I actually corresponded with her directly, and she is an amazing gymnast, and just think at 26 she could retire. I hope she doesn't. I hope she continues, because she is absolutely brilliant and inspiring. And also other people in the Olympics are role models to look up to. And for me, I hope to be a role model for other people. And I believe I probably am. My publisher of this book, Women's Scientific Creativity That Contributes to Society, said that I am an inspiration, and even as a woman, that he wants to, that he supports me regardless. And for my campaign. And I believe that is so important, to have the support and to be able to work for people directly. And also I wanted to say that reaching me, I have an X account, it's at Dr. Dr. Charyton, so you can reach out to me there. And even my phone number, that you can call me and leave a short message if you are interested in telling me what your concerns are and how I can help as president. My cell phone number that you can reach me at, my business number, is 614-60-RELAX. So it's 614-60-RELAX. Really easy to remember. But I ask, do not text me, just call me and leave a brief message, and I will do my best to address your concerns.
Dr. Sheridan, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute honor. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you, Benji. It was great talking with you.